Good day, poker peeps. This is Sky with Smart Poker Study and the Poker Forge. One of my Poker Forge members asked me a really interesting question the other day. He outlined a whole scenario where he had the nut flush draw and he was considering shoving when he knew his opponent was not going to fold. So his question boiled down to, should I semi-bluff shove with the nut flush draw when I know he isn't going to fold? Now, I have semi-bluff here in quotes because it's really not a semi-bluff if you know your opponent is not going to fold, right? You're basically just committing all your chips with a nut flush draw. So let's get into that right now. So the interesting thing about this situation is that to answer it, it's just a straight up math problem, specifically break-even math. So we'll dive into that. Here's the situation. You're committing all your chips with no fold equity. So we're considering a shove with the nut flush draw. So we have some equity in the hand. We have a chance to win, to improve our hand. But we know that they are not folding because they're committed for whatever reason. So like I said, it turns into just a math problem. We got to ask ourselves, do we have enough equity against his calling range of hands? Because we know he is calling. That's the main concern. So we're going to be using break-even math right here, which is the risk divided by the total reward. We'll get into this in a little bit. I found this hand in my database. It's exactly what my student was referencing, so we can utilize my own hand here. We open raise, caller, 3 folds, and the big blind calls. This is our main opponent right here, so we're not going to be concerned with him because he's going to fold on the flop. Pre-flop raiser, ace-queen suited. You can see I've already built it in Flopzilla Pro over here. We've got our ace queen. We got the caller's big blind, roughly 37% calling range right here. Pre-flop, our equity is 65%. Things are looking good. We've got position, a very strong hand. Loving this. Flopping the nut flush draw on the 6-7-3 of diamonds. Our villain, comes out for a donk bet. We decide to bluff raise. Now this is a semi-bluff raise. We're hoping he folds. But if he doesn't, we've got 3 aces, 3 queens, 9 diamonds to improve our hand. Villain 18 folds, villain 22 calls at this point. Now, look at that pot. 44.5 big blinds, 116.2. We only have 76.5 behind. Pot's getting really big right now, and our opponent makes a 25 big blind bet. We only have 51 big blinds behind, so at this point, we really can assume he is committed. He's not going to be making this bet and then folding for just 50 big blinds more once he's already put in nearly 42 big blinds or so. So he is committed at this point. Now it's just a point of running the break-even math. Remember, it's just risk divided by reward. So our risk right here, if we commit, it's 76.5 big blinds. The reward is the total reward, the total pot to win. So currently, before we make our bet, that pot is 69.7 big blinds. If we commit our chips, we got to add 76.5 big blinds. And if our opponent chooses to call, he has to call, 51.3 more big blinds. 51.3. So we're risking 76.5 with our shove to win 197.5. The break-even point is 39%. That's the equity that we need in the hand, given our shove. So now, let's go back to the flop right here. Flop comes down 6-7-3. 6 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 7 of spades. So on the flop, our equity goes up to 72 big blinds. Loving that right here. But here's where things get interesting. He donk bets. We raise, a pretty healthy raise right here. 3 times, more than 3 times his bet. That means we mean business. We're obviously repping a hand like pocket aces and kings. Other hands like ace queen of diamonds as well. But we're repping a really strong hand right now with this bet. So his call means business on his end. So let's figure out what hands is he making this call with. A bet and then a call. I think he can do it with his straights, his 5-4 suited. I think he can do it with his sets, 7 6s and 3s. I think he can do it with his 2 pair hands, 7-6 suited. His overpairs, totally. Why not make this bet? We have aces and kings in our range, but just in case, we do have the ace queen. We have the pocket 8s. Pocket 5s may be making this kind of bluff. Who knows? Ace 5 of diamonds, king 10 of diamonds. There's so many things that he is ahead of with all these pocket pairs. He's calling with them. Maybe one street. Let's give him all these top pair hands. Although, because he looks like a tight aggressive player, I kind of doubt he's making all these calls, but let's put them in at least just for now. I think mid pairs, all the sixes can fold at this point. Fives and fours, bottom pairs, all of those can fold versus our hefty raise. Now, I think, though, that players love calling on draws. They don't want to give up flush draws. They don't want to give up the open-ender. They don't want to give up the gut shot, really. And if you think about all those gut shots, 10-9 and 10-8, they're over cards, which can catch a top pair hand or a gut shot draw as well. So I think he can call at least one street with these. The one card gutters, kind of a tough call to make. Let's not put those in. So if we filter for this range, we've removed some of the weakest hands and kept some of the best draws in. Our equity drops to 57%. Not the end of the world. We still have position. We still have the two overcards plus the flush draw. Things are looking okay at this point. The 10 of clubs hits the board. So on that 10 of clubs, eek, our equity dropped to 31%. But here's the important thing. He comes out with that more than half pot, 25 big blind bet after betting and calling a raise. He is not scared of this hand or this card on the turn. He loves his hand right now. What hand does he love that's making this bet? Well, for sure, the straights are. He wants us to commit with our overpair aces, kings, with our ace, queen of diamonds, ace, king of diamonds, all that kind of stuff in our range. His sets, totally. This is the point when he wants to get our entire stack. Instead of checking and letting us check behind with our flush draw, he's betting to get value. So I think those could do it. Two pair hands, yeah, they just, flop to two pair, 6-7, 10-7, just turn two pair. I think those can make this play. Over pairs, sure. He wants to charge us for the diamonds. It's just basically 6 combos of pocket jacks. I think he can make that play and not fold to a re-raise. Top pairs, I think all these top pair hands really, I don't think this is the time to be committing. This is the time he should be hoping we have ace king, ace queen, pocket nines, pocket eights. He should be check calling for the most part. Most players aren't going to make a larger than half pot bet when we're repping pocket aces and kings the entire way. So I don't want to put any top pairs in his hand, in his range. Now, can he do this with flush draws? That's an interesting thing. A lot of players aren't going to make this kind of bet after calling a raise. They would make this bluff if that was a diamond and they didn't think that we have diamonds. Now that there's 3 diamonds on the board, he's going to try to rep a flush on the turn. No flush possibility. I don't think he's doing this with the draws. I think flush draws, and if you think about that, king high or jack high flush draw, that's only the second nut flush or the 4th nut flush draw. Most players don't make this play. I think this is a total sign of strength. He loves his hand. So against this range of overpairs and better, eek, our equity is only 20%. The break-even point is 39. We need to win 2 out of every 5, 40%. We're only winning 1 out of every 5, 20%. Automatic fold in this spot right here. No, I shouldn't say automatic fold. Automatic non-raising situation. We do not want to raise because we know he's committed. So it's always important to consider all of our options. When this player makes this donk bet, 3 buttons pop up at the bottom of the table while we're playing. Fold, call, and raise. We know that raising is not good because he's not folding and we don't have enough equity to commit all of our chips right now. But what about that calling button? Can we click call right here? Well, it's another question. Once again, use break-even calling math, which is just the risk divided by the total reward. So if we're going to call, it's 25.2 big blinds is what we're putting at risk. The total reward would be the 69.7 big blinds plus the 25.2 that we're risking. We want to call in order to win that entire pot. So that means we need 27% equity in the hand right now. Let's go back to let's go on the turn where we have our decision. If this is all that our opponent is making this bet with and we're calling on a draw, once again, we still have that same 20% equity. We need 27% to make a break-even call. He would need to be betting way less than the 25 big blinds, maybe 20 or 19 big blinds, or even 18 or 17, like a lot less right here. So it's not worth making a call. We can't raise, we can't call, we've got to be folding. So in this particular spot, folding is the best play. So now that we've solved this dilemma, what should we do versus this donk bet? Let's think about, is there any way that we can possibly actually make the raise and make it a profitable raise right here? So can we bluff shove if we have fold equity? That means that he's betting, but he's capable of folding versus a raise. So let's change some of the parameters here. Let's take off both of those filters. Let's go back to the flop. Let's imagine on this flop, when we raise and he called, let's imagine he's maybe not this tight aggressive seeming player. Let's imagine he's just a little bit more on the loose aggressive side. Maybe we know more about him. We know that he likes to take chances. He doesn't like to give up on flops, but maybe he's willing to give up on turns or rivers. So instead of filtering for just betting and calling with top pair and better and the best draws, let's imagine he can do this with the middle pair hands, all those random sixes. Maybe pocket pair less than top card, fives and fours. They have gut shots as well, maybe. Bottom pair, that seems a little wide. Maybe one street. If he can put us on ace king, maybe he can call with bottom pair. So like I said, we're trying to massage the situation. We could see what we could potentially be bluff shoving against. Can you do it with one card gut shots? Let's say he can't give up any draw ever. He loves the draws. The two overcards on that 2 diamond board, let's keep the flushes in, but let's not put all these 200 extra combos in. So he's betting and calling with much weaker hands now. Let's put those in. Our equity is at 58%. When the turn comes, the 10 of clubs, let's go to the turn right here. 10 of clubs is in. Our equity drops to 39%. Let's imagine he can raise right here, or he can make this bet with a very wide range. Let's say he can bet top pairs, pocket pair less than top card, maybe even his mid pairs, all those different sevens on this board. Weak pairs, let's not say he can do those, but let's say he could do it with all of his flush draws and his 2 card gut shot hands right here. Altogether, he is betting 116 combos of hands. If we decide to shove, what is he going to call us with? Well, he's only going to call, probably not with the flush draws. It's just such a big commitment, another 50 big blinds. Maybe not. Maybe he can only call with top pair and better. That's 61 combos right here. So if he's betting with 116, he's calling 61 combos, it means he's folding 55 of his combos, or he's folding 47% of his betting range right now. Now, the break-even point, once again, for a bluff bet, it's always risk divided by reward. Very simple. If we shove right now, we're shoving 76.5 big blinds. The total reward is the 69.7 big blinds in the pot, plus that 76.5 big blind shove. The break-even point is 52%. We need him to fold 52% of the time. He's only folding 47%. Once again, even that we widened his flop calling range and his turn betting range, still, really, this is not a spot to be bluff shoving this player. So I want to invite you to check out my brand new course, the Flopzilla Pro course. You can learn to use every single aspect of Flopzilla in this course. 6 different lessons, 12 different videos, including the bonus content, 3 3/4 hours, almost 4 hours of Flopzilla Pro tutorial action. And it's not just me demonstrating this stuff. I mean, that's what I'm doing in all the videos. But I created them specifically as do as you consume videos. So what you're going to do is watch a video, follow along, do exactly what I do in Flopzilla Pro. And that's what's really going to teach you how to use the program. And then along with all the videos, you get a 19-page workbook with an answer key. Every exercise that we do in the videos, you're going to repeat those in different ways within that workbook. I guarantee this Flopzilla Pro course will turn you into a Flopzilla Pro. Get it by going to smartpokerstudy.com/Flopzilla Pro course. I'll see you there.